So this is a talk based on work I have done with Martin Stevens from RDS London, and also, yeah, obviously myself. But this talk is really to present what RDS, the Research Design Service, can do for you across the country, across England. So we provide a free confidential advisory service that is delivered regionally across England, and you can see the regions on the right. We support social workers, clinicians, other health and social care professionals, and academics at all levels. And that's really important, from the very early stages, or the complete newcomers, to those who are already very experienced. And it's all about competitive national funding, or nationally competitive funding applications. So on the right, we developed this little diagram or stair. So it is really from the idea stage, very unformed, underdeveloped research question, possibly, to a fully developed expert. We provide through all the steps up to when you press the button for the funding submission. So it is really it is very comprehensive, really, the service which we provide. And also, interestingly, and linking back to Mark, we frequently deal with resubmissions or applicants who have been rejected, and we try to work with them. And I really should say we work with people. We are not doing it for people, but we work with them to create a successful resubmission. And that may be to a different funder or the same funder. That all depends on the details of the application and the research plans. And we are called the Research Design Service, and in some way that is a bit of a misnomer, because it is, as we just said, much wider. As I said, from these research questions to interpreting feedback and supporting resubmission. So it's all the way through that. There could be aspects of public involvement. There could be issues of getting the narrative right, etc. Or if it is for a fellowship, this is now less relevant for this call, having mock interviews or the like. So really the aim is to have or create high quality applications through our support, and that we do for health research, social care research, and public health research. And we do that often in collaboration with other parts. So that could be on occasion, although again in social care, that's perhaps less common with the clinical trials unit, although some clinical trials units now also engage in social care research. It's often with a clinical research network, on that a little bit later, but above all with a wider social care community. So it is really a major priority now as part of the RDS. We are still learning on this. So these events like this are really a very great, important opportunity for us to learn, but also we want to just encourage social care research in all RDS regions, and we want to design and seek funding for social care studies. So we have expertise on many areas, and I'm not going through all of these points now, but it is also very central is patient, or in this case, it would be better to talk just about public involvement. It's about ethics, it's about equality, diversity, and inclusion, and also impact. Some of these later points are relatively recent, whereas others like public involvement are really long-standing priorities and areas of expertise where we provide support to applicants. when you submit a request for support, so all of the RDSs have websites where you can easily sign up and request support. Typically, an advisor will be, a dedicated advisor will be assigned to your project. There will be initial feedback on your research question, rationale, overall design, public involvement, etc., but also on the team, for example. There will also be specialist input where we provide input on sample size calculations, methods for economic evaluation. It's not only about qualitative or quantitative research, but mixed methods approaches and so on. And all RDSs, I believe now, provide fast-track lay summary reviews and public involvement bursaries. More on public involvement later on by Gary Hickey. And we facilitate, hang on, I can't see my own slides now anymore. So we facilitate to link up with other groups, whether that's the CRN, it could be a CTU, or the ARC, in the applied research collaboration in your area. And the public involvement fund is a key element of where we provide very practical support. This is up to around £300 with some variation across regions. But again, more on this or on public involvement in general by the next speaker. And as I said, we work also closely with the Clinical Research Network, which is now also working on social care projects. So they can be helpful in many practical points. Just for those who are new to this world, the RDS is really mostly pre-delivery or up to the point of pressing the submit button, and then the CRN is mostly involved at the point of actually delivering and carrying out the research. So we are pre-award and they are post-award. This is a very rough guidance, and it's not correct in all aspects and details. There will be further support available for people who requested so on one-to-ones, or also on London is providing a panel immediately after this event. So that is an opportunity, and I believe people are welcome to join that panel if it suits them, as there are still spaces. But I think you may find more on that in the chat. And just the final point, so there will be some SSRC career development awards available. There will be a call coming out. Then also note that the HSDR funding stream has now been renamed to include social care. So it's now the Health and Social Care Delivery Research funding stream. And for those who are keen, the RDS will run a grant write development and writing retreat for social care researchers on the 23rd to 25th of March next year. So the links are on, these details are hyperlinked, so you can look it up once you receive the slides, which should happen soon. So thank you, and sorry to overrun the time a little bit, but yeah. Are there any questions for me, or I'll stop sharing?
There's two questions in the chat that are both linked, and they both relate to the location. So the question is around RDS support if the researchers are not based in England, but say the research project does cover England. How does that work?
It doesn't work very well, I have to say. I have done, out of the goodness of my heart, provided input to people in Belfast, and I believe other people have done the same. It is easiest to provide some support if there is one of the co-applicants not living, but working in England, having, for example, at a university or at some institution working in England, then it's relatively easy. But otherwise, it is a bit of a problem. In some regions, I think in Wales, there is a little bit of a something similar of a research, something equivalent to the research design service. I believe there isn't in Scotland, but there may be others on the call who actually know more about this. So this is a bit of a challenge, I believe.
Thank you.